Hey, young artist. Here's a speed drawing of a tree that I'm starting. I'm starting it with a black colored pencil, and I'm just trying to stretch out those branches as far as I can. Start out a line and don't close it for a while so I can stretch those vines, or not vines, branches, just all across my page. Next, I've got a tire swing, which is just kind of a fun, playful addition to my drawing. Finishing up my tree, and then adding a quick horizon line. I'm just doing this with a blue colored pencil. I'm going to have some water nearby. But first, I'm going to spend quite a while right here just coloring in a bunch of leaves in different colors. And these are going to resist the watercolor that I later put on here. Doing a lot of different leaves here in all the different colors. I love the opportunity to use my crayons. Use orange, yellow, brown, red, all sorts of colors. And so I made sort of a barrier in between my tire swing and all of my leaves, where my leaves are kind of connecting, because my tire swing is going to be right above the water, and my tree is stretching out sort of towards the water. So all of the leaves are sort of floating on the water. I made a little heart, and it says art inside, just because I love art, and I thought that would be cute. Yeah, I'm really trying to fill up this space with lots of leaves. Sort of meditative time, just drawing these little scribbles of leaves. So if you're like me and you like to do this, you can add lots of colors in here. I'm also adding a resist in my water with some watery lines, and I'm drawing some clouds. My clouds didn't turn out that well in the end. I wish I filled them in a little bit more, but you know, adding some squiggly lines. This is very, very loose. This is sort of inspired by Van Gogh with those loose strokes that he has in all of his paintings, the paint strokes that you can see. And that's why I'm just keeping this very loose. There's no wrong way to do this, really, is what I'm trying to say. So, I'm about to get started on my watercolor. And with watercolor, I always like to have a paper towel and a fresh cup of water. And I'm using my watercolors. I've got a lot of different reds and yellows and oranges and browns here on my watercolor set. So those are what I'm going to use when coloring everything in. I'm adding a little water to start. Only do this if you have watercolor paper, or else your paper might pill a little bit. But you can see the way that my watercolor is sort of pooling around all those different leaves I drew. So I'm just adding some loose color in here, lots of fall colors, adding some color to my tree. And I'm switching over to a flat brush so I can get my tree a little bit more sort of defined and dark in there. So with this painting of the tree, because it's so dark, I ended up feeling like I should have done this right at the end and done everything before that, because that black color kind of had to wait for it to dry a little bit before I could get back to painting the rest, and I didn't want it to smear. So you should probably do that towards the end, but I wanted sort of my colors to go over top of that brown of the tree. So really, it's up to you. There is a chance of it smearing a little bit. If you want to give it a little bit of time to dry, that is probably a good idea. Getting to my water now with just some blue. I'm using a pretty big brush to fill up that space, but you don't have to. And I'm adding in, this is where I had trouble because of that tree and the clouds. But still, I'm filling in that color. I want to add some more depth to my water over here, so I'm putting in a couple of different shades of blue, trying to give it some texture, some fun, going right around my tire swing. And now I'm going to add some sort of lighter, brighter colors over my tree with some yellow, some orange. And I'm using a round brush for this, just so I can make nice blobs of color. This would also work well with tempera or acrylic paint. but I assumed most of you have watercolor at home if you have paint, so that's why I use watercolor. It works just fine with that. Alright, that's toward the end. I hope you like this project. Bye bye!